I want to ask you a question, and this question also applies to me as well. How good are you at saying yes, and how good are you at saying no? I'm going to bring that back to the framework of the elements that I love to talk about. I found in life that people who tend to be more air element types, sanguine type people, they find it really easy to say yes when they're in a good place, because they love the change and the variety. And that's a good thing. Just like children will say yes to most experiences. There is a point though where if we say yes to everything and we're open to everything, we can deplete ourselves and we can wear ourselves out. If you've ever watched the movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey, great movie. If you haven't seen it, you've got to see it. It's really funny. That's the extreme example of someone who says yes to everything in life and doesn't really have much of a sense of boundaries around them. But he starts off the opposite. He's a no man. I don't want to spoiler it if you haven't seen the movie, but essentially he goes on this journey from being someone who says no to everything in life. He's got completely got boundaries everywhere, and he's really compressed and shut down to life. And then he goes on this journey of saying yes to everything. And like typical Jim Carrey movies, he tends to show the extremes of life, and so he goes through this amazing journey where it's quite crazy. And Jim Carrey by nature he's changed now, he's gone through his own spiritual transformation, but typically was very much an air type person. Good actor, good comedian, good communicator, flexible, changeable, amazing guy. I have very deep respect for him. So if we're saying yes all the time, then sometimes this was me, by the way. I used to always say yes, and that was because I was a real crowd pleaser. So I was brought up in life early that if you want to be nice and you want to be friendly and you want to be good and you say yes to everything and you don't actually consider how you really feel, then you'll get loved. You'll get a lot of popularity. Everybody will like you. You'll be just the perfect person to have in their life. So I thought, and I adopted that policy as a young child and learnt very quickly that I was popular and I was funny, and I got over problems by being able to say yes and agree with everyone. So there was too much of me that was watery and too much of me that was air. And that tends to be a thing. That's the challenges of the sanguines that say yes too much and can often burn themselves out. And waters who'll go along just because they don't want to conflict with anyone, and they'll take the easy road. And they also too can deplete themselves because in their heart they might be wanting to say, you know what, actually I don't want to do that. That's not really me. So if we're too good at saying yes, it's really important to just check in every now and then, which is what I practice a lot, and go, do I really want to do that? Is that really what's going to make me feel good? Or am I doing it just to please somebody else? And that's a really good thing to notice and worthwhile checking in, because if we're saying yes when we really want to say no, we're going to get exhausted. We're going to get depleted. So something to contemplate. Now let's flip to the other side. What if we're a person who grew up in a family where play safe, don't take a risk, life is dangerous, follow the rules, don't do anything that could be regarded as crazy, different? Then that's too much earth, too much melancholic. And so we can get stuck in the mud, we can get bogged down, and we only follow the rules because if you don't follow the rules, you're going to get in trouble. And so we're growing and living in a world of fear, where our spirit and our soul's going, hang on a minute, I'm here to experience, I'm here to live life. And occasionally I need to stretch myself past what everyone else says I should do and do what I need to do and follow myself. So that's where the fire energy needs to come in and say, I'm going to do it my way for a change. Yeah? And I'm going to do that, and I'm not always just going to follow the rules. So you can see the elements and how they come in here. And so a person who's very earthy, who's very much into following the rules and don't do anything different, needs occasionally to say, I need to be more like my opposite. I need to be more like my air-type brother or sister who's going to go, what the heck? Let's just be a bit random. Let's take a risk every now and then, a calculated risk. Not doing crazy, stupid things, but being a little flexible, being a little bit spontaneous. So we start saying yes when we normally say no. And our life force, we breathe in new life. So the earth person needs the air. The air person needs the earth to moderate their behaviour and say, hang on, I think I might have actually done too much this week and maybe I won't go dancing this weekend or go out with the friends. Maybe I might have just a quiet night in. So can you see that balance? Sometimes we need to say yes when we're a no type, and sometimes we need to say no when we're a yes type. And sometimes if we're too involved with what everyone else wants for us, everyone else is doing, we've got to follow along, we've got to learn to say no to that. So be more like a fire person who says it's about me. And if we're too much of a fire person and it's all about me all the time, and we're not really considering how anyone else feels or thinks, or we're going to get very lonely. So that's when we've got to say yes to a situation that we might not particularly want to do, but in the long run we'll be glad we did, because we have that gift of being able to, as people, you know what, we all need people. As souls, as humans, I don't believe, unless we're a very special advanced being, that we can live solitary on our own with no contact with anyone else in the world. I've never met someone like that, who can live completely on their own in a solitary space and be truly, truly happy and at peace. So, right time to say yes, right time to say no.